Internet, it's only been like 2 weeks into the year and things are looking rough. Anyways, if you don't know who I am, but you're subscribed, best bet it was one of these.
The setting sun cast long shadows through the windows of a modest Florida home on Christmas Eve, where an 83-year-old woman sat unknowingly moments away from a betrayal that would shatter the
Awesome. Now, today we're talking about price gouging in the pharmaceutical world, to absolutely no one's surprise. We need to start having more babies because a new report suggests that the US death rate will outpace its birth rate by 2033. And TikTok has a surprise new contestant considering purchasing the platform. All in today's middle of the week episode of... But before we get going, as always, smash that subscribe button so you never miss a beat. Alice, let's talk about how we're nothing more than livestock to a certain industry.
The FTC has accused major pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs, United Health's Optum, CVS Health's CVS Caremark, and Cigna's Express Scripts of massively marking up drug prices at their own pharmacies.
Oh, the tangled web of pharmaceuticals. The FTC just dropped a bombshell report accusing the nation's pharmacy benefit overlords of essentially playing drugstore Monopoly with your wallet. For those unfamiliar, PBMs are supposed to be the Robin Hoods of healthcare, negotiating lower drug prices on behalf of the consumer. But according to the FTC, they've been more like the Sheriff of Nottingham, raking in billions through eye-popping markups on crucial medicines for small conditions, like cancer, heart disease, and HIV. Good thing it's nothing serious. Now, from 2017 to 2022, Optum, CVS Caremark, and Express Scripts allegedly jacked their prices up by hundreds to thousands of % at their affiliated pharmacies. This nets them a cool $7.3 billion in excess revenue. Money they likely wouldn't be flaunting if transparency were even virtually a thing. To make matters worse, the FTC suggests that they've been shoving patients towards pricier meds that conveniently stock their own pharmacies. What a coincidence, right? The companies, of course, have gone into full defense mode. Optum claims they've saved patients $1.3 billion in 2024 alone. Meanwhile, Express Scripts dismisses these findings as cherry-picking, pointing out that these drugs represent less than 2% of the annual spending. As always, there's more. Spread pricing. A sneaky practice where PBMs bill the insurers more than they pay the pharmacies has brought in an additional $1.4 billion during the study period. That's on top of out-of-pocket costs for patients skyrocketing with annual increases as high as 21%. This isn't the first time the FTC spotlight has fallen on these players. Back in September, the agency sued them for steering diabetes patients towards more expensive insulin products, allegedly to bag a bigger rebate from drug makers. The PBMs are calling foul, claiming bias from FTC Chair Linda Khan and even trying to get her disqualified. While PBMs tout their role as cost-cutting champions, reports like this shine a spotlight on a darker reality, one where patients bear the brunt of a convoluted, opaque system. So, what does this mean for you and me? For starters, it underscores the urgent need for greater transparency in drug pricing. We need it. We'll never get it, but we need it. With healthcare costs already overwhelming, every shady practice adds fuel to a fire that millions of Americans are struggling to put out. The FTC's push to hold PBMs accountable is a step in the right direction, but as always, the devil is in the details. And, court filings. What do you think? Are PBMs the necessary middlemen they claim to be, or just the latest villain in a saga of skyrocketing drug costs? Let me know in the comments.
The CBO predicts that U.S. deaths will exceed births by 2033.
So the latest CBO report paints a pretty stark picture of the US demographic landscape. The Grim Reaper will be outpacing the stork by 2033. That's a full 7 years earlier than last year's prediction of 2040, a revision that feels less like a gentle adjustment and more like a demographic curveball. Now, the US population is expected to grow, but at a glacial pace, 0.2% annually over the next 30 years. It's a pretty far cry from the 0.9% growth rate we've been enjoying since 1975 to about 2024. Last year. Immigration is becoming a bit of a lifeline for population growth, as native fertility rates continue to hover below replacement levels. Without immigration, the population would actually start to shrink in 2033. You may be asking, why is this happening? First, the fertility rate has been on a steady decline for years, a trend exacerbated by economic pressures, shifting social norms, and even environmental concerns. Fewer people are feeling confident about raising kids in a world grappling with soaring living costs, climate change, and post-pandemic uncertainty. Second, the aging population means a larger portion of people moving into high mortality age brackets. Coupled with advances in healthcare, which can only prolong life so much, we're heading towards a demographic imbalance. Too many elderly, too few young. You may also be wondering what's at stake. Well, first we have some economic implications. A shrinking or slow-growing population means fewer workers to support an aging population, creating stress on social safety nets like Social Security and Medicare. It also means reduced consumer demand. Then there are possible culture shifts. Slower growth and increased resilience on immigration could further transform the culture and demographic makeup of the US, sparking political and social tension. As if we need any more of that. So what can be done? Well, pronatal policies for starters. Countries like Sweden and France have seen some success with paid paternal leave, childcare subsidies, and other policies designed to make having kids more affordable and appealing. Some adaptation strategies could be investing in automation and AI to mitigate the economic impact of a shrinking workforce, but these solutions come with their own ethical and logistical challenges. The robots are coming. The CBO's report is a little bit of a wake-up call. Will we embrace the changes needed to thrive in this new reality? Or will we resist only to find ourselves grappling with the consequences down the line? Over to you. What is your take on this population puzzle?
One of the largest creators on the internet is claiming he's considering buying TikTok.
Hey, real quick sidebar, I'm gonna be referring to this person as Jimothy for possible censoring purposes. Anyways, just when you thought the TikTok drama couldn't get any juicier, Jimothy, YouTube's golden boy of viral philanthropy, steps into the ring. The man who gave away islands and millions of dollar jackpots might now be gearing up to save the social media platform millions of us scroll through instead of, sleep. Initially, it seemed like Jimothy was joking, tweeting out, "Okay, fine, I'll buy TikTok so it doesn't get banned." But then came the twist. Billionaires, yes, plural, have apparently slipped into his DMs offering to help him turn that tweet into a headline. Imagine that group chat. Now, Jimothy is already leading fan polls over heavyweights like Musk and O'Leary, probably due to him being relatable, beloved, and unlike the other contenders, represents a creator-driven vision for TikTok. For users that live and breathe short-form content, this is like choosing one of their own to helm the platform. But let's not kid ourselves. Buying TikTok isn't like splurging on a few new Lamborghinis for a video. TikTok is currently valued at $50 to $75 billion, even with billionaire backers. That's a tall order. But Jimothy does have two things in his corner. Cultural clout, he's arguably the perfect face for a post-ByteDance TikTok. His brand is technically rooted in goodwill and viral ingenuity, qualities that do align well with TikTok's DNA. I mean, that's totally subjective at this current moment, but Also, he's got the Billionaire network. If his tweet about so many billionaires reaching out is true, this could turn into a consortium-style acquisition. Think tech meets creator economy. I would actually worry about this possible panel of owners. This scares me more than China owning the app, honestly. Joking. Calm down. Imagine a TikTok owned by a content creator for creators. Could we see improved monetization for smaller creators? Transparency in algorithms and data practices? Maybe a pivot to a more philanthropic or socially impactful content? I doubt it. But at least it might stave off concerns if TikTok's data no longer flows through China. Oh, and let's not ignore Kik's cheeky little pitch for a 50-50 partnership. It's unlikely, but the idea of KikTok has an undeniably catchy ring to it. And let's be real, it would make for one insanely viral rebranding campaign. What do you think? Could Jimothy's TikTok actually work, or is this just another pipe dream? And on that bit of I'm gonna call it. If you're one of the 10% that made it to the end, do me a solid and smash that like button. Help spread some news. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Bye.